Give me a moment. All right, guys. So let's start the session. I request everyone to mute themselves. I will give you the chance in between the session so that you can ask questions anyways. So thank you for joining the today's call. I will be the tutor for this training, Azure Data Engineering Training Program. So I think most of you know me already, but the people who don't know me, I will try to introduce myself. Hello everyone, I am Abhishek Agarwal. I am a Microsoft certified Azure data engineer. I have done my graduation from NIT Raipur in 2016, and after that I have worked 1 and 2 year in data analysis and data science domain, and then I got a project in Azure data engineering field, and after that I have delivered around uh, 50 to 60 data migration projects, and then I have done migration from the Hadoop cluster to Spark cluster in Databricks. Mostly I have worked with Data Factory, Databricks, Synapse Analytics, and recently I am doing few mock POCs in Fabric as well. I have written my code in SQL, Python, PySpark, Spark SQL. And during the training, I will be teaching you the projects which I have implemented. And I will make sure from the training, I will try to deliver what I know about Azure data engineering, right? So the people who have enrolled for Azure data engineering program, we will first start with the people who have enrolled for the combined program. We will first start with, as you already know, we'll start with Azure data engineering training program, and then we will start with Azure Databricks training program, right? And these are the topics will be covered in the overall Azure data engineering training program, right? Which we will go for 2 months, right? So we will first try to cover like how to create a subscription, what is resource group, what is active Azure Active Directory, and then like how to share the subscription and all of that. That we will cover probably today, because to start with Azure we need a subscription and all of that. Then we will cover about data lake storage, blob storage. We will cover about how to move the data. We will cover about your copy data activities. We will cover about the how to move the data in a iterative manner. We will cover about like what is pre-copy script, auto create table option, how to do the parameterization, how to do the full load pipeline, how to do the delta load pipeline. Then we will cover up about Git integration. The people who are not aware about Git and Git integration, I will teach you Git. The what is Git, that I will teach you. How to integrate the data factory with Git, that I will teach you. And then I will teach you about Databricks and Medallion architecture, the Lakehouse architecture. And then we will cover about how to process different kinds of file format in CSV, JSON, and XML. Then we will cover about like what are the different if else activity, metadata activity, right? Then we will cover about Synapse architecture, Synapse, right? Dedicated pool, serverless pool. We will learn about Key Vault. We will learn about data warehousing concepts such as your fact dimension, data modeling, how to implement S3 type 2 in warehouse, right? We will cover about logic cap, email alerts, right? We will cover about Fabric, One Lake, and then Fabric warehouse, right? So we are touching upon many things here, right? So let me note down it in a bit so that it's much more in the simpler format for you. So what are the things we will start on, right? So first we will basically start with subscription. So today we will understand how to get a subscription. Then we will today understand about Azure Active Directory. Then we will cover about resource group. Right. Then we will cover about resource group, and then mostly we will cover about like data factory. Then we will cover this Azure Databricks. Then we will cover your Azure Synapse Analytics. Then we will cover the warehouse concepts. Then we will also know about Fabric. We will also try to understand the Azure DevOps and Git integration, Azure DevOps and integration, right? We will also know about Logic App and Key Vault. Okay, so these are the few of the services. These are the services which we will cover, right? In the whole syllabus, it will be mostly revolving around data factory. And then we will, so in the whole syllabus, like 50 to 60%, 65%, it will be revolving around data factory. And it's good to start with data factory because data factory is your orchestration tool, which I will describe, right? But this will be the overall syllabus from the syllabus point of view, right? And then from the architecture standpoint, we will cover three architecture. This is the first architecture which we will cover, which is basically implemented using Azure Data Factory. This is the second architecture which will be implementing using Azure Databricks, right? And this is the third architecture which will implement using Synapse Analytics, right? These are the three architecture which we will implement during the whole course curriculum. Mostly we will be learning about, first we'll start with this particular architecture. So during our 7 to 8 or 9 classes, which we will do going forward, we will be focused around this particular architecture. We'll start with this architecture, okay, first. All right. So this is about the syllabus and also the outline, what we will be learning, okay? And then the path of coming 7 to 8 classes or 9 classes which will happen, we will be focused around this particular architecture, okay? So whenever you are attending the going forward classes, try to just remember this architecture, okay? I will try to give you a brief about this so that you get it, right? What is this architecture? You get it totally, okay? All right, guys. Now, what I will do now, before jumping into this architecture, I will try to give you a brief about this architecture, and also I will try to give you about a brief about data engineering, which I think if you have attended the previous demo, you know it already, but I will try to revise a bit. And then we will come to this architecture, and then we'll try to understand the implementation of this architecture. All right. Now I will give you the chance so that you can ask question. But if you have in between question which you want to ask me, you can type in the chat, okay? Because we have many students today, right? So I don't want to break the flow by just giving the people to ask questions right now. But I will definitely give you the chance in between the session to ask question. But if you have any immediate question, you can type in the chat. I'm regularly checking the chat, okay? Vinit, you haven't missed anything. We are just starting, okay? So don't worry. All right. So now, like, so before jumping onto this particular architecture, let's try to understand about a very fundamental topic of what is data engineering, and then I will come to this particular architecture. Okay. I will again open this particular diagram, right? And then it's very important for each one of us to understand whenever you are working in the cloud world, what are the different roles are there, okay? and what are the different teams you work with. Okay, it's very important, and then you understand the difference between roles, and hence you understand the data engineering role as well at the same time, right? So there are many roles in the cloud world. Okay, so suppose if I try to write down what are the different roles are present in the cloud world. Okay, so you have a data engineer, then you have like a data analyst, then you have a data scientist, then you have like suppose for example a DevOps engineer, then you have admin, and then you have a data architect, right? And then suppose I'm just trying to define, whenever you are doing any sort of a project, right, in your in a company, or the way I do a project in the company, uh, these are the different roles are there. Okay, why it's important to understand all of these roles and why I'm talking about all of this, because whenever you give interviews, right, so suppose the people who are here, you guys will go for the interview, and then it's very important for you to understand that how a particular project starts, right, and what are the different roles are there, and how development happens, or like how a particular project will start, right? You, all of this understanding is also important. Okay, so that is why I'm giving you all of this picture, so that you get it. Okay, because you haven't done actual project implementation. So instead of just jumping around technical things, it's also important to understand the roles, and also it's also important to understand the team size and all everything, right? Then you have like after this you have, so these are the all the technical roles. Then you have, suppose for example, um, uh, project manager, and then you have scrum. So all of this are like, for example, like hmm, all right. So now I will try to define the role of everyone, right? So that you get it, right? So now whenever any project comes, right? Suppose let me try to tell you a particular problem statement, and then we will try to jump into the role of each and everyone, what each role will be, so that you understand that where you stand and how like how each and every role will be defined. Okay, so that will understand, right? And I will try to give you example in a technical or in a very layman term, so that you get it, right? So suppose there is a company, right? So there we have a company, right, which is a retail company, for example. So there is a retail company, and after defining roles for everyone, I will try to like ask you if you have any questions. Okay, so please wait, I will anyways give you the chance. So there's a retail company called as mm, called as, suppose, Vinayak Retail. Vinayak Retail. Okay. and this retail company is operated in uh, like different parts of India. Okay, and then this retail company is basically storing their data in a legacy system, right? So suppose this Vinayak retail company is storing the data in legacy retail system, legacy system. Okay, so their data is being stored in the legacy system, right? So what are those legacy system? So suppose the people who don't know what is legacy system, right? So the legacy system can be a traditional old system. You can consider this legacy system. Legacy system is nothing but a old system. Like you have a legacy system, which is basically a old system, a traditional storage system, right? So suppose you can consider this legacy system as like you have your own computer, like a SharePoint location, right? SharePoint location. Or you can consider this legacy system as MySQL database, right? MySQL database. Or you can consider this legacy system as SQL, like SQL servers, SQL databases. Or you can consider this, the people who don't understand SQL, MySQL, SharePoint, anything of that sort, you can consider as a files. Like suppose every computer has a file storage, right? So suppose my computer itself has some sort of a storage, right? File server. So file server, right? So Vinayak Retail is storing the data in all of the systems, right? And it has been 4 or 5 years, they have been storing all of this data, right? Now, this Vinayak Retail uh, understood that, hey, I'm storing the data in all of those systems, but now what is the problem? If I'm storing the data in all of those systems, what is the problem? Problem is, first problem is, if I need to understand, if I need to basically, so what is the problem statement? If I'm storing data in all of the system, what is the problem statement? Problem is, if I want to collate the data, right? If I need to collate the data, as in like the first problem is aggregated or centralized data point is not there. So suppose Vinayak, the owner of this company, Vinayak, wants to understand total sales or total EBITDA or total gross sales, right? Total gross sales. Suppose I want to understand total gross sales, or I want to understand future sales, right? Future sales, and I want to understand employee of the year and product of the year. All of this aggregated sales problem, I don't have it, right? These are the problem. If I want to understand the aggregated sales, if I want to understand, guys, my screen is visible to everyone. Somebody saying that my screen is not visible, please type yes or no in the chat if my screen is not visible. My screen is visible to everyone, guys. Yeah, all right. So this is the problem is, suppose if I want to understand the total sales, right? I need to go to SharePoint, I need to go to MySQL, I need to go to SQL database, I need to go to file server, because Vinayak Retail has like many stores all across the world, and few are storing the data in SharePoint, few of the guys are storing in MySQL, so Vinayak Retail has many stores, right? Suppose Retail has many stores, right? And few guys are storing the data in um, one second. What I will do is I will try to. Okay, so Vinayak Retail has many stores, right? And these guys are storing the data. Suppose few guys are storing data in SharePoint, few guys are storing the data in MySQL server, few guys are storing the data in SQL database, few guys are storing the data in file server. So they are distributed, right? So they don't have a centralized place. And now again problem is all of this data is not in the cloud, right? So now they are facing some problems. What are those problems? Suppose if MySQL database I need to upgrade, suppose MySQL is not performing good and I need to upgrade that particular server, then I need to go and purchase that hardware. For example, like let's try to understand in very simple terms. Suppose my computer, I purchased a Lenovo computer, and then it has some sort of a 16 core machine, and then you have 500 GB RAM, right? Sorry, 500 GB of memory, like your hard disk memory, right? Then this is the computer which I purchased, right? But now if I need to upgrade that particular machine, I need to go to the market and purchase a new machine, right? And the hard disk for it, right? And at the same time I need to, like, suppose the upgrade issue is there, right? So upgrade, I need to go to the market and purchase a new upgrade problem is there. And if I need to share the data, I need to sharing itself is a problem, right? So collaboration is difficult. If I want to share any kind of a data points, I cannot very easily share it, right? And then for backing up the data points and everything, I need to manage it, right? So I am facing all of this problem, right? So now I'm just trying to tell you what is the benefit of switching to cloud and why Vinayak Retail wants to switch to the cloud, right? So these are the different problems. So suppose you can imagine these problems from simple example of, like, suppose we were using pen drive in our college days, but why you don't use pen drive in college days like now? Because if you want to share your photos with someone, you need to go to that particular person, hand over that particular pen drive, right? And at the same time, if you want to upgrade that pen drive, you need to go to the market, purchase a new pen drive, right? And then if the data is lost, you need to also go to the market and handle that, right? So these are the problems you have. That is why you want to switch to the cloud, and that is why people are also switching to the, like, people are switching to the cloud, and hence these are the problem which Vinayak Retail is also facing, right? So what Vinayak Retail wants, Vinayak Retail, so now Vinayak, who is the owner of this company, wants solution of this. So he wants like a centralized storage, and also he wants to solve this problem. So a technical guy, right, a data engineer or someone, right? So technical guy means, so Vinayak, what Vinayak Retail will do? Vinayak Retail will basically hire a, like, a project manager, right? Project manager. So Vinayak Retail will tell project manager, hey, I have these problems, right? A project manager, Vinayak will basically contact project manager, and project manager will basically, he will tell, hey, I have this all of this problems, that hey, I need aggregated data, I need upgrade. And then project manager will listen to all the problems of Vinayak which Vinayak has, right? So he is kind of a knows business, right? He knows business problems. So project manager will listen to his business problems. Project manager will listen to his business problems, right? These are the problems which Vinayak Retail has. And project manager will communicate all of this problem to a solution architect, right? So he will reach out to solution architect. So project manager will reach out to solution architect, right? Data architect, solution architect. Hey, this is the problem which Vinayak Retail has. Now, how to solve this problem? So data architect will tell that, hey, if you have all of this problem, then you need to basically, you can solve this problem by migrating your data to a cloud storage, right? Or cloud place where you can solve all of this problem. So data architect will listen to all of these problems, right? And then he will try to suggest some solutions, right? So data architect will tell you, hey, these are the data points, or this is the cloud, or Azure, in Azure you can move, or in AWS you can move, or in GCP you can move. Data architect will create architecture. Data architect will understand, hey, what are the data points he has. And data architect will also try to understand, so data architect will ask some many business questions to him, that hey, how many data points Vinayak Retail has, and what are the different sources he has, right? And then he will try to prepare an architecture diagram. Architecture diagram means he will try to prepare this kind of architecture diagram which can solve the problem. So data architect will tell that, hey, we can move the data from this like all of the source system to a particular cloud storage, right? That is what data architect will do. Architect will design an architecture for Vinayak Retail which can solve the problem of Vinayak Retail, right? So that is what data architect will do. So suppose data architect will told, hey, what you can do, you have different source system, which is like SQL Server, SharePoint, or Oracle DB or file server, right? You have a different source system. So what you can do, you can move the data over here, which is a cloud storage, right? And if you move the data to the cloud storage, you will get many benefits. What are the benefits you will get? Your data will be there in the centralized place, right? A centralized place where you can aggregate or collate your data, right? Which is the cloud storage. And then what are the different problem you can again solve if you have a cloud storage, right? So basically when you're moving to the cloud, these are the different problem you will solve, right? The data loss and recovery will be handled by the cloud service provider. The upgrade is very easy because you can upgrade in cloud. You can opt for machines very easily, right? So that is what you can do. You can collaborate very easily, right? The implementation of the cloud is very easy, right? So I can just purchase any of the machine or anything very easily in the cloud, right? Uh, so now project manager also asked this data architect, hey, can you just describe what is this cloud for me, right? So data architect told cloud is nothing but the you're not accessing your computer, you're accessing someone else's computer on pay as you go method and on demand. So what you're doing, right, when you're switching to the cloud, you are trying to you are not purchasing your computers, because when you purchase your computer, you need to go to the market, purchase your own computer, right, and own hardware. But in the cloud you can opt for the service very easily, right? The practice of, so you can opt for any service very easily, and you can upgrade it, right? So suppose if you want to get 4 VMs, it's very easy. So implementation is very easy, right? So the cloud is nothing but the practice of using a network of remote server hosted on internet process, uh, hosted on internet to store, manage, and process data rather than your local computer. You're not accessing your own computer, you're accessing someone else's computer, and on demand and pay as you go. That is what you're doing, right? And that is what the cloud is, right? So now, and also he's shown the project manager, hey, this is the cloud. So suppose if you want to purchase this is the storage which you can use, where you can store all kind of a data over here. You can bring all the data over here and you can store all kinds of data here, right? And then if you want to just opt for a SQL server or whatever server you have, like you have Vinayak Retail has this SQL server, right? So if you want to create a SQL server, that also you can do in the cloud very easily. Like SQL database you can create. And then if you want to upgrade this particular SQL database, that is also very easy, right? So if you go to compute and storage, you can just upgrade your SQL server. You can create higher machines, right? And then accordingly you can pay price for it. You can upgrade your SQL server very easily, right? You can change your configuration of the SQL server very easily. So everything can be done very easily rather than you going to the market, do it by yourself, right? So that is all very easy. So project manager told that, hey, can you make the architecture diagram, right? So project manager has made this architecture diagram that, hey, what you can do is, if you want to solve this problem, you can first of all move this data to a cloud storage, do the extraction part, move the data to the cloud storage, right? And then Vinayak also wants some extra features, right? So he want to basically understand, right? He need an understanding of data. He need more understanding of data, right? That is what he wants. Understanding of data, right? Understanding of data as in suppose the he wants to um, like understand all of these data points, gross sales, future sales, or employee of the year, all of that he wants, right? So suppose this is already written, so I'm not writing. So gross sales, future sales, employee of the year, all of this they also wants, right? So what architect has told, right? What he can do once it is data is moved, basically he can join the data, transform the data, and all of that can be done by using Databricks, SQL stored procedure, ADF Airflow, right? ADF data flows, all of that can be used to transform the data. Now, project manager will not go into Databricks and try to understand what each and everything will do. Project manager will try to understand the business, try to tell the data architect, this is my requirement. So project manager will tell, this is my problem statement, you tell me what needs to be done to solve that particular problem, right? So data architect suggested this, right? So all of this is suggested. Now project manager job is to create like a path, right? So suppose he given a requirement, so he will go to the Vinayak retail and tell that, hey, for this will be the cost. And then suppose Vinayak retail told that, hey, like this cost is too much, can we just optimize in certain ways? Then he will again go to the architect and try to design a particular proper architecture diagram which will be suitable for the projects, right? So this is the architecture diagram which we will design. So suppose if you look, this and this both are similar in some ways, right? So like suppose here we are extracting the data from source, loading to a cloud storage. Here also, if you see, using data factory, we will, from any kind of a source, we are loading the data to a blob storage, right? And then if you see this, here we are doing the transformation using database SQL stored procedure ADF flows. So here also we will move the data to the Synapse server or a Databricks, transform the data right over here. Then over here, after that, we are doing a reporting. We are doing a reporting using Power BI. So here also we are doing a reporting to the Power BI. So what data architect will do? Data architect will design this, right? Will design this. Now, project manager will ask data architect, hey, we analyzed and then we designed this particular architecture diagram. Then what are the people you need in your team to implement this architecture diagram so that we can solve this particular problem, right? So data architect will tell, we need data engineers, or we need, depending upon the size of the project. So suppose Vinayak retail has 1,000 data sources, right? So suppose Vinayak retail, instead of 4 data source, Vinayak retail has like 10,000 data source. Then he has huge amount of data to move, right? So data architect will tell that we need 10 data engineer, or 12 data engineer, or 100 data engineer, or 50 data engineer, depending upon the project requirement, right? In general, like we have a one data architect in general, I'm just like talking about in general, but that number can increase or decrease. But suppose you have one data architect, right? One data architect. So in general, in a team, you have 2 to 3 data engineers, okay? 2 to 3 data engineer. But it can increase or it can decrease, right? So you in general, you have 2 to 3 data engineer under who works under a data architect, okay? Data engineer, 2 to 3 data engineer. And what they will do, let's understand what they will do. So data architect told that I need 2 to 3 data engineer, and then I also need about one DevOps engineer, right? One DevOps engineer, I need one DevOps engineer, one DevOps engineer. And then data architect told I basically need one data analyst, right? One data analyst, right? And then I need like one one admin, right? One admin, that is what he will tell, I need one admin. Or suppose two data analyst, right? Two data analyst, one admin, right? And I need one data scientist, right? I need one data scientist. One data scientist. Now project manager and data architect also decided, hey, there are many people, suppose they want leave or they want to go into vacation, or how to pay them, or what are the salary of all of these guys and all of that, right? So you need a manager as well at the same time, which can handle all of this operations, right? Operations job. So you need a manager who can basically be managing all of these guys, right? Managing means operationally, he will manage all of these guys, right? A manager will manage all of these guys, right? And then, so manager will manage all of these guys, means suppose this guy will want a leave, or this guy has some sort of want to go, he's working very well, so he wants to upgrade his job, or he wants to change his job, right? Or so all of this coordination of business, right? So suppose this manager will manage all of these guys, and also he will try to manage project manager, right? So he's managing all of these people, right? Data architect will help each one of them technically, means suppose if data engineer is facing some sort of a issue, then architect will help him, right? If DevOps engineer is facing some issue, architect will try to help him. Data analyst is facing some issue, architect will help him. Admin will facing some issue, the architect will help him. Data scientist is facing some issue, architect will help them. Project and the manager will basically communicate with these guys, create some stories for them, 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 right? Now, what is the job of each and every guys, right? So let's try to understand that now. So in the whole project, the data engineer, what data engineer will do? Data engineer will do, and this is most important part, right? So what data engineer will do? Data engineer will try to migrate the data from one point to another, and he will do the ETL process. So what data engineer will do? Data engineer will migrate the data from this place to this place. Now suppose what if it is migrated using data factory, if it is migrated using Synapse Analytics, right? Or in over here, which kind of a storage will be chosen and all of that, the architecture decision will be taken by architect, right? The data engineer will migrate using the architecture which is there, right? So architecture job is to decide architecture, right? Whether it is Azure, whether it is AWS, whether it is GCP, which tool to use, whether you go for Synapse Analytics, whether you go for data factory, all of this decision will be taken by architect, right? Now suppose data engineer, like whenever we are moving from source to load, right? Over here, from here to here, whenever we are loading the data, um, if the data is moved secured or not, suppose um, uh, like once we have a data architect, and once we have a data engineer, once we have a data engineer in the team, the data is moved secured or not, whether the credential, how data engineer will log into the system, right? How the data engineer is log into this particular architecture. We have this architecture diagram. We have this architecture diagram, but each and every piece, how it is, so suppose whenever any application is created in the internet, how that particular architecture can be secured, or how each and every developer can log in, right? All of that will be taken care by admin, right? So the architect will make the architecture diagram. This architecture will make this architecture diagram, but admin will make sure that this architecture diagram is secured, right? Secured means there is no firewall attacks, there is no network and security problem is there. There is, like, the people are able to log in into this properly, right? That particular job admin will do, right? So admin will basically make sure, this guy will make sure that your infrastructure is secure. This admin will make sure your infrastructure is secure. Infrastructure is secure. Okay, secure. And then he will also make sure that authentication, like login or intra ID is managed, right? Intra ID is managed, or everything is secure, right? That he will take care. right? Architect will make the architecture diagram, project manager will get the business requirement, architecture will make the architecture diagram, and then once the architecture diagram is made, the admin will secure the architecture diagram, right? Now what data engineer will do? Data engineer will try to, suppose the architecture is made, infrastructure is secured, right? Now what data engineer will do? Data engineer will move the data. So data engineer moving the data from the source system to the cloud storage will be done by data engineer. But now somebody can say, Abhishek, I can come here, like why I need data engineer? Any normal person can come here, open this storage, and then open this storage, upload data here. I know that, right? Why we need data engineer? What kind of capabilities data engineer should have, that to anybody can like just go and upload this data, right? Data points, whatever data points you have. Like I want to upload whatever file I have, right? Suppose I go here and then I open this. I have the CSV files, right? Anybody can just like come here and upload these files, right? What data engineer capability required here, right? Anybody can do this, right? So this is uploaded from your system, normal computer to cloud. Why do we need data engineer for this? So suppose here you have 4 files and then you have moved it, right? But suppose you want to do it at a particular 9 p.m. daily. You don't want to move 4 files, you want to move 100 files, and you want to do it at a particular time daily. And whenever you're moving the file, you want to structure it properly, right? Like you want to move it in a, suppose whenever you're moving it, you need to create like a date parameter here, right? Like I am moving in 2025 04 21, and then I need to move it here. And then suppose you understood that here you have like um, currently 1,000 rows, but next day when you move, you don't move from 1,000 rows, you move from like another 1,000 rows, right? So if you want to schedule it and if you want to do it properly on day-to-day manner without any error, right? A man can do, a manual effort cannot do it, right? You need a automation there, so that your pipeline is triggered daily at a particular time, and you will learn how to do it. And then it is taking the file from your source system and it is moving the data regularly at a particular time. The data engineer only can do it, right? So data engineer job is to do the extraction part, means move the data from one point to another. Means suppose if I want to move my luggage from one point to another, right? You need a porter application which can do that, or you need a taxi which can do that, right? So similar to that, if you want to move the data from point A to point B, you need data factory in Azure space which can do that, or Synapse Analytics which can do that, or Fabric can do that, right? So data extraction one will be done from source to the load part. Data factory will do it, right? And data engineer will be using data factory to do that, right? Data scientist will not use data factory. Your data analyst will not use data factory, right? Your admin will not. Admin will configure data factory. Means data factory will be used by Abhishek, or it will be used by this developer. Will be taken care by admin, right? Because admin will take care of who has a authorization for that, right? So that will be taken care by that guy, right? Admin. So data factory, this transformation, the movement part will be taken care by data engineer, and transformation part. So suppose if data is there in the proper fashion or not, if you have the clean data or not, right? Suppose when we are moving the data over here, somebody figured out that in this particular department table, sometimes it's not one, it's 1A, right? It's not a bad, it's actually a bad data, right? So data engineer job is to clean the data, right? Suppose sometimes it's written like this, but sometimes it's written like HR and then somebody changing it, right? This is how it is written. So this data engineer's job is to also clean the data so that data is there in the proper fashion. So data engineer will basically transform and then clean the data, right? Data engineer will also do that. ETL means extract, transform, and load. Means load the data to a SQL server, or he will transform data, he will load the data, right? So what data engineer will do? Data engineer will find the right data. Like let's understand the what is the role of a data scientist and a data analyst. So what data analyst will do? So suppose somebody will say, hey Abhishek, what data analyst will do? Data analyst job is to always and always do the descriptive analytics of your data, right? Descriptive analytics of the data. What it means is he will try to describe the data in the better fashion. Data analyst will do the descriptive analytics of the data. Analytics, descriptive analytics means suppose I have a data point. I want to understand the data in a better way, right? I want to just understand that, hey, if my sales is increasing in March, why it is increasing? If my sales is dropping, why it is dropping? Which product is I'm selling? Which product I'm not able to sell? All of that will be outcome of analysis that data analyst will do, right? What data scientist will do? Data scientists will predict the future. Predictive analytics will be done by data scientists. Predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. Predictive analytics. Means data scientists will try to understand what will be the future. What will be the future outcome? Predictive analytics means he will try to predict what will be the sales in future. All of that will be done by data scientist. Data engineer and data scientist and data analyst will work closely, because suppose Vinayak Retail came with the requirement that, hey, I need a particular dashboard in which I want to understand. I have many stores, right? I want to understand which store is located near shopping mall, or which store is not related near shopping mall, and which retail store is near to suppose like a movie theater and all of that, right? That kind of analysis is Vinayak Retail wants to do. And to understand this, they want to understand whether if it is near to a shopping mall, then our sales are more or not, right? This kind of understanding they want to do. So they told this to project manager, and project manager reads to data architect. And data architect basically told that, hey, we basically need this new kind of a data, right? So they communicated with data analyst that, hey, we need this kind of a dashboard, right? Where we want to understand this. So data analyst will check the data point. Hey, do I have a data point or not? Then data analyst will communicate with data engineer. Hey, data engineer, I don't have this data point. Can you get this data for me? So what data engineer will do? Data engineer will check all of these data points, get the real estate data. Suppose he understood that the real estate data is there in the SQL database. So he will try to move the data from SQL database to a cloud storage, right? The extraction part, and then make it ready, give it to data analyst and tell that, hey, I have a retail data now in data lake, you can use it. So now data analyst will take that data, make some dashboard so to understand that, right? So that is what the data analyst will do, right? So now data scientists, so suppose if we have any sort of a future outcome, like future requirement, that, hey, I want to understand what will be the sales in future, or I want to understand that if I'm selling this many products in December 2024, then in 2025 what will be my sales, right? So data scientists will do it, because we are doing a predictive analytics. Now what DevOps engineer will do? DevOps engineer will basically work on, like, suppose you hired all of these data engineers, right? So you will give the environment to them where they can do the development. So this Vinayak Retail, right, will not give the access of all of these data points to all the developer in the beginning, right? They will create some dummy environment with dummy data, right? This is an environment which is your dev environment, which what it means. Suppose I have all of this developer. So what Vinayak Retail will do? Vinayak Retail will tell that, hey, all of these data engineers can work in the dummy environment, right, for now, and then try to create this solution for me, which can take the data from one place and move it to one place, right? And then they will create another environment, which is a test environment, right? A test environment which is similar to the final environment, right? And then they will create a prod, like a final environment, which is a prod environment. Dummy environment and then test, which is similar to prod. And prod, which is actual environment, right? So suppose the data engineer will create the pipeline. Suppose this data engineer said that I created a pipeline which can move the data from this place to this place. So what DevOps engineer will do, DevOps engineer will move this particular pipeline, right? This pipeline which is created pipeline, suppose he created a pipeline, he will move the pipeline from this environment to this environment, test environment. And the testing will happen whether it's functioning or right or not. If it is functioning right, suppose if it is not functioning, then we'll give the feedback, correct it. If it is functioning fine, then we'll move to prod environment. So this is what the DevOps engineer will do. He will do the deployment, right? So this clarity should be there. So data analyst will, data engineer will find the right data for data analyst, data scientist. He will develop the extract, transform, and load pipeline, build the data marts, monitor the data pipelines, right? Ensure the data quality is good, maintain the data code quality, optimize for the cost, enhance the performance of the pipeline, implement the data governance, means the data can be accessed by whom or who can access the data, maintain the data lineage, how each data points is related, documenting the each flow. What data engineer will not do? Data engineer will not build the report. Data engineer will not build the ML dashboard. Data engineer will not do the CI/CD. Means it's a DevOps engineer job. The third one is DevOps engineer job. The first one is ML engineer or data scientist job. The second one is a data analyst job, right? Designing front-end application means, suppose if you want to design some sort of front-end application, that dash application or some sort of front-end application, you need another dash application guy for this, right? Suppose if you want to bring some application, so here if you want to make some application or dash application or anything of that sort, then in your team you need another person in that case, right? So here if you need a front end application or some people who can bring that, make that, right? Infrastructure security will be the job of a admin, right? And then so this is what, not the data engineering, right? So you should be very clear that what is data engineering and what is not data engineering, right? And DevOps engineer will handle the CI/CD process. He will handle the CI/CD process. CD process. So project manager will tell architect, and then they will create a story for it. Hey, this you need to do this, 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 you need to do this. All of that stories they will create. Project manager's job is to prioritize, right? So suppose in this particular 15 days or 20 days, we need to achieve one task, one common goal, which is this, right? That the architect will not do. Architect will help technically, but project manager will tell prioritize work. So project manager will tell that in coming 1 month, we need to achieve a task in which we will move the data from this place to this place. This task should be achieved, right? And then he will gives the priority to team, and then team will prioritize it, right? And then somebody will tell, hey Abhishek, what this scrum master will do. Scrum master will basically, like whenever you work in the agile development, the whole development is always and always divided into sprint cycle. Okay, scrum master. So whole development will be divided into sprint cycle, right? Sprint cycle means in first sprint, in sprint one, suppose it is 14 days sprint, right? 14 days sprint. Now in 14 days sprint, we will do like migration from SQL to database, right? Now in the sprint, we will create stories, right? Story one, story two. We will create many stories here, right? Story means a task we will create, right? Task. So Scrum Master job is to help data project manager to create all of these stories, manage your sprint, close your sprint, check whether whatever stories we are planning, whether we are able to complete or not, right? That Scrum Master will do. And sprint two, we will suppose sprint two is, and then after sprint one is completed, Scrum Master will understand whether we are able to achieve what we have targeted or not. So all of this management Scrum Master will do, right? So this is how the team works, right? And these are the different roles which you have, right? Now, if you have any question, you can. Now, if you have any questions regarding this thing, you can ask me now, or like let me give you the chance so that you can ask question. All right, guys. If you have any question, you can ask me now regarding
Yeah,
the
hi
roles.
Abhishek. I
Yeah,
have one question. So, what's the difference between the ETL developer and the data engineer?
it's same.
It's the
There's
same.
no
Okay.
difference. Yeah. Anybody has any question, guys, beside this?
Uh, Abhishek, this is Victor. So currently, I am working as a AWS Cloud plus DevOps engineer. I'm doing
Mm-hmm.
combination of both the roles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how this course will help me? I think
So,
it's changing my roles, right? So I just want need a clear understanding.
so this is the actual class. If you have a question regarding the course curriculum, or if you have any sort of a question regarding what is will be covered and all of that, I request you to reach out to the person from where you get this link, and then he will try to answer those questions. If you have any question regarding this, what I have drawn here, or what will be covered in the course curriculum, you can ask me now.
Abhishek, I have one question.
Hmm.
So, as a Azure data engineer, you're going to teach us how to create CI/CD pipelines also, right?
No,
No. So that will
as
be
I
done by
told you,
DevOps
as
engineer.
I told you that DevOps engineer, it's a DevOps engineer job to create a CI/CD pipeline. And previously, in the previous classes, I used to take one class or two class in which I just try to tell about CI/CD pipeline. But to
Yeah.
be very honest, it doesn't give the understanding to students. And then it's just like very superficial knowledge, which will not help you in actual implementation part. So I stopped doing that. And I don't teach CI/CD pipeline during the course. But I will tell you the Git process, like for the data engineer, what are the
Okay.
different Git process we do. I will tell you that.
Okay. But if you want to, I mean, if I want to learn, is there any material provided in the
No,
curriculum?
if you want to
Okay.
learn, don't learn. Not now.
Okay.
Not now. Why you
Okay.
don't learn? Because people, this is the mistake which people does. They don't focus on the important part. So there are many things to learn in data engineering, which is building a ETL pipeline, creating data marts, learning about data governance, learning about different architecture diagram, learning about different tools which is used in data engineering, learning about Spark optimization, learning about data factory, learning about Databricks, learning about data lake, learning about Fabric, learning about Spark, and then learning about different architectures such as Unity Catalog and Marine architecture. So if you feel you know all of this, then you should learn about DevOps engineering. But if you don't know all of this, then you start learning about CI/CD pipeline and DevOps engineering, then you are just diverted from the path. And I don't suggest you to learn right now.
Got it. Thank you.
All right, guys. So anybody has any question?
So this course, you are concentrating on all the 9 points you put, or the 6 points you put on the left.
So I will focus on all of these points, and I will focus on, if I go here, what is data engineering, right? So first we will learn about ETL pipeline, we'll learn about data marts, we will also learn about how to monitor the pipeline, we'll also learn about how to make a data quality check. We will also learn about cost optimization technique. We will also learn about performance enhancement. We will also learn about data governance. We'll also learn about data lineage. We will also learn, this is the documenting flows, but like this is more about documentation of whatever you have done. So we'll learn about all of this, but we'll not learn about ML deployment. We'll not learn about Power. In Fabric, it is closely related to Power BI. So I will tell you few basics about reports, but not in detail. In CI/CD pipeline, I'll tell you about like Git practices, but not CI/CD pipeline making, right? And then I will not tell about the front end application. Anyways, I will not tell about the infrastructure security. Like I will tell very basics about that. So all of this I will tell very basics, but not I will not go into deep into all of these concepts because this is not data engineering task. Okay. All right, guys. Anybody has any doubt
Abhishek,
on this? Yes.
Abhishek, I have a doubt on it. Actually, I am a IACS developer. When I switch into this, whether I need to be in a starting stage level or how to handle this after completing this course, how much years of experience knowledge I'll be having in this?
Again, I told that if you have any course curriculum courses, yeah, so like whether your course is so any course curriculum related detail, again reach out to the person who has given this from where you get that link. I will be
No, sir, I am
answering.
asking. I am asking about I am as I am have IAS experience in IACS. When I switching to this, whether I have to start my career from the basic level or how many experience I will be after completing this course I will
So
be
it
having.
depends on like suppose you enroll for the combined course or a data engineering course, right? So if you enroll for a combined course, you get 5 years of experience. In data engineering, you get 2 to 3 years of experience.
Sorry, can you please repeat? I am
So
having an experience of 5 years in IACS day. It's ETL
so
tool.
what ATL tool, right? So
Yeah.
you don't need to start from scratch. You can you have a foundation already because you have a ATL understanding already. So once you learn the skill set, like data engineering skill set, you can show up to 5 years of experience if you are enrolling for the Databricks and Spark as well, like with the data engineering. Okay.
Okay.
All right, guys. Anybody has any question?
Yeah, Abhishek, Satish here.
Yeah.
So, what is the basic difference between ADF and Databricks? Why we need to go? Because I know that ADF is more Azure and
ADF is more of a orchestration tool. So suppose if I want to move the data from point A to point B, I will use ADF. Databricks is being used for data processing. So suppose if I move the data and if I want to process, means I have 10 data points and I want to join the data, I want to do it faster. And if it is taking time or that will be done by Databricks. So Databricks is a data transformation tool. And Data Factory is more of a data movement or orchestration tool.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, guys. And one request before I take question, I have one request. So the people who enroll for the course curriculum, your recordings will be uploaded in the LMS portal already. The people who haven't enrolled for the course curriculum, right? If you want to get the recording and if you want to get the future classes, you want to enroll for the future classes, reach out to the person from where you get the link and then he will be able to assist you with that, right? So the people who enroll will be directly getting the recordings in the LMS portal. The people who haven't enrolled, please reach out to your admin team and the person from where you got the link, and then he will be able to assist you with that. Now, yeah, now you can ask question if you have any question. I'm still here.
I have a question. My question is, I don't have any experience on ETL, and I'm coming in blind this course. And let's say I finish the whole course, which includes Databricks as well as ADF, the combined course. How much can I project to my future employer? How much experience can I project
5 years
at the end of this course? 5 years. Okay. So all of the learning material, all of the projects will enable me to have at least 5 years worth of experience at the end of this program.
Yes, you're right.
And one more question. It's unrelated to this question. So somebody asked, what is the difference between ADF and Databricks? And I understood the difference. So I think just to confirm, Databricks is more in line with SSIS. Is that a correct assessment? No. Okay.
Data Factory is in line with SSIS.
Because from what I heard, SSIS also allows some transformations to happen, right?
Data Factory also allows you to transformation to happen, but it is more of an orchestration tool. In Data Factory also you can do the data transformation, but you don't need to write code, and it is generally being used for orchestration of end-to-end flow. So suppose here, if I want to orchestrate the overall flow, means movement of here to here, then here to here, then here to here, then here to here, I will use Data Factory. And also here in the diagram, if I show you over here, this ADF data flows is also a transformation tool, but it's a part of it. It's more of an orchestration tool, and Databricks is more of a data transformation tool. It's not for the orchestration. It's more of a data movement, or sorry, data transformation. So I'm just talking in very simple or general terms. Databricks is more of a, suppose if I go over here, if I type Databricks, Azure Databricks, Wikipedia, Wiki. If I open, so Databricks is global analytics artificial intelligence company, creators by Apache Spark. The company provides, like suppose if I open this, Apache Spark is open source large scale data processing. So suppose, like, just try to understand from this, Databricks, it's built by creators of Apache Spark. And what is Apache Spark? It's basically a framework for large scale data processing. So Databricks is basically for large scale data processing. It's built from that particular purpose itself. And Data Factory is built from the orchestration purpose itself.
Okay. One more question. I'm sorry I'm taking so much time.
No. You can ask question. I'm here for the question itself. Yeah, go ahead.
Probably a stupid question, but because I'm a newbie, my question is this. So this is a data engineering program mainly, but do we cover any cloud aspects? So let's say our database is based in cloud. So I've never worked in cloud, but I want to understand how to connect cloud sources.
So we will understand that. So suppose now in the coming classes, what we will do. So suppose this architecture, like extraction of movement from here to here, is similar to this. So as I told, we will cover this architecture in coming classes. So I will tell you how to move the data from source. From source can be anything, your computer, my computer, or like the people who are present here, all of these guys' computer. If you have a SQL server, if you have whatever you have, I will tell you the process, how you can move the data from all of the source system to a particular storage using Data Factory. And what is the process? What is the, like, how we can do that? So during the course curriculum, we'll target this and we will understand the migration part first. Then, like, while doing the migration, we'll first understand what is Data Factory. Then we'll understand what is this. And then we'll understand like how to move this. So step by step, we will build on this. And then we'll understand how to connect this, how to connect, like how to do the read write. Then we will move into this. Then we'll do this particular part. So process by process, step by step, we'll do everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Will we do SSIS also, or just ADF?
No, we will not do SSIS because SSIS, basically people are moving from SSIS to ADF. So we will be learning ADF, but not SSIS.
So anything that can be done in SSIS can be done in ADF, you're saying?
Yes.
If I prepare for ADF, SSIS jobs can be taken.
Yeah, so SSIS people are migrating to, so my first students were from SSIS background. So the people who are SSIS are learning Data Factory because it's outdated now.
Got it. Okay. All right. No more questions from me. Thank you.
When are we going to get LMS credentials?
You will get it during the weekend.
Okay.
But
so
I will, like,
we don't have any classes tomorrow, right?
No, you don't have any classes tomorrow.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, Abhishek. Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, I have 10 plus years of experience in IT field. So how to manage experience with this course?
Yeah, so you can enroll for the combined course and then you can get like 5 years of experience into the data engineering domain, and hence you can learn it. So yeah, this is what I will suggest to you.
Abhishek, this tool is a paid version, right? It's a trial version is available. How to learn while you're teaching, how to practice? practice this ADF?
So practice ADF will happen in this particular. I will tell you how to create an account and all of that in the next classes. So we will practice everything here. So this subscription is free for a month, and after that we upgrade to pay as you go. Or you can create another by using another credit card. You can create another account. That also you can do.
Okay. Totally, how many projects will be covering while doing this total course?
Five
because
projects.
Based on this, if you are putting a 3+ of experience, can we manage the projects in the company? Not
So
in entry level,
yes,
the projects in the company.
yes. So in data engineering, we'll cover 3 projects. In Databricks, we'll cover 2 projects. So there will be 5 projects. And after doing course curriculum, you can switch the job, and also you can handle the project in your company.
Okay.
Hello, hi Abhishek. My name is Kish. I'm looking for means I want to pursue this course because currently I'm working my current field is a different. I'm working as a email security engineer. Means have experience on Microsoft Exchange and Exchange Online. But I'm looking for a different course right now, so it is completely new for me. So, is it okay to pursue this course? And is it
Yeah,
okay?
it's this course is designed for someone who is new. Like I will teach everything from zero. That is why I'm trying to just describe things which is also very like simple, right? So here I'm trying to so this course is made for someone who is from sales or marketing background as well can take it to this course. Okay.
So after this means like I just did answer from you, like you are answering few people before, like when we complete this particular course I can at least work as a fresher, or I can show at least in experience like a 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, so 2 or 3 years of experience we can show, because we will be learning everything and you will be implementing everything. So you can show experience.
So is it good for me to go at for that combined course which you are talking about, or like?
Yes.
Because I really don't have any idea about.
You have 5 years of experience, right?
No, I have total 8.5 years of experience.
Yeah, so 8.5 years of experience. The people who have like 3 to 4 years of more than 3 to 4 years experience should take a combined course, because you need more knowledge whenever you want to switch, right? All right, guys. So now I will take one last question and then we'll end the class. We will connect again next week, right? I will share like the people who have the people who are interested to enroll for the further classes can reach out to the person who from where you got the recording link, and the people who already enrolled will get the recording in their LMS portal during the weekend. Okay. All right, guys. Anybody has any question? One last question.
Yes.
Yeah, Abhishek. So, as a data engineer, are we going to work in any specified environment, Abhishek, like dev, QA, prod, or any?
Yeah, so you will work as a data engineer in all the environment, in dev as well, in test as well, few people in prod as well. You'll work in all the environment.
Abhishek, only one question I have. Like I can get the more information from the WhatsApp group from where I get this particular link, right?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, guys. So thank you so much for attending the class. Today's class was the overall background about everything. In the next class, we will make our hands dirty from the portal, and then we'll try to get the Azure subscription. We'll understand what is resource group. We'll understand how to create data factory, right? But this is also very important, because in general in the interviews people ask about like, hey, what is your team size, what are the different roles you have handled, right? And then you can tell about these different roles. So this also helps you to answer many interviews questions, such as like, hey, what is your team size, such as about what is the problem statement you have solved, such as about what are the different members was there in your team, such as about like what is your role, right? So what is your day-to-day role, right? So this helps you to all of this helps you to answer those questions. So that's all for the today's class. We will meet during the weekend, during the like next week. And if you have any questions, more questions, you can again related to course curriculum or joining things, right? You can anyways ping the people from where you got the link, and the people who enrolled will directly get the recording in their LMS portal. The people who haven't enrolled, if you want to proceed with the next class, just reach out to the admin guys, right? And they will help you and assist you with that. All right, guys. So thank you so much for attending the class. See you then. Bye. Good night.
Yeah. Bye.